Hey everyone, it's Andy Hodges for Sebastian Daily. We are out on Indian River Drive, and the winds have really picked up here in Sebastian. A lot of whitecaps showing in the river right now. But what we're noticing is most of the docks are not underwater. In fact, the tide seems to be going out, so that's a good thing. We're not seeing any flooding so far on Indian River Drive. We are heading south on Indian River Drive from US 1. We want to check things out here. Doesn't look like there's any damage to any structures so far. A lot of debris from trees and branches and leaves that we saw earlier today. Not much of a change. There's more water on the roadway than earlier today. But the winds have picked up. That's the big difference between this update and the earlier update. We can actually feel the winds. There's a tree that seems to be down Indian River Drive. Large branch. No damage to any structures, just a tree that got caught in the wind. There was a tornado warning earlier today, and that was around 6:06 p.m. It expired at 6:30. No tornadoes were found. Nothing hit the ground. There's Arlo Guthrie's home. Looks good. He's got all the lights on. A lot of people are weathering out the storm right now, and there's not a lot of people on the street that we saw earlier. A lot of people staying indoors, which is good. Mandatory evacuations in Indian River County were lifted this afternoon. However, Brevard County still has their mandatory evacuations. Brevard County would include Micco, Barefoot Bay. And there's a lot of businesses that are going to be opening tomorrow. Sebastian Gym is one of them. A lot of restaurants are going to be reopening, including Woody's. Woody's Barbecue will be open. Sandy's Grill will be open tomorrow as well. Hopefully things will be back to normal tomorrow. And if all we have are some power failures and a few tree branches down, then we really did good with this storm. There's definitely more waterway on the roadway. It kind of really looks spooky when you're looking at the water. The clouds are in all kinds of different colors and shapes, and it's just eerie. But of course, you know, it is a major storm. Looks like we're coming up on Squid Lips. Some of these piers over here seem to be touching the water, but for the most part, most docks are not underwater, which is a good thing. We haven't seen any dock problems or damage to any docks so far. We are passing Archie's on the left. Captain Butcher's. Captain Butcher's looks good. We don't see any damage to Captain Butcher's. A lot of trees in the roadway though. Leaves. This storm could have been so much worse, and thank God it's basically a tropical storm in our area. Squid Lips. We're looking over to Squid Lips right now. Looks good. Now here's Squid Lips, and I don't know if you can see this or not. The parking lot is a little flooded in front of us. But the water is not touching the docks. Of course, the water is... let me see if I can zoom in here. As you can see, the water isn't touching the docks. In fact, it's been that way since our last update earlier today. But you can see the rain coming and the wind's picking up. But Squid Lips looks really good. We don't see any damage to Squid Lips, just some extra water in the parking lot. Sebastian is looking good. We're coming up to Captain Hiram's. We saw a palm tree down earlier today in their parking lot, but that was the only thing we saw. The hotel looks good. The parking lot is very flooded, but very flooded parking lot at the hotel. But the structure, that fins, black fins, and the sandbar looks good. Coming up the crab stop. And crab stop is looking good. No wood problems there. You know, no structure damage there at all. Krabby Bill's looks good. And it looks like the dock at Krabby Bill's looks good too. It's not underwater or anything like that, so that's good news. And now we're coming up to Earl's Hideaway Lounge in Sebastian, Indian River Drive. Of course, they're closed right now. They're all boarded up. American flag is flying, and everything looks good at Earl's. Earl's looking good. Mo Bay looking good. We're coming up the main street where the boat ramp is. Looks like we have a couple of people near the boat ramp. Now, within an hour from now, these winds will really be picking up. If you're just tuning in, we are on, my name is Andy Hodges. We are on Indian River Drive. We're checking out the buildings here on the river. River looks very choppy. It's raining. Extra water on the roadways. Tree branches down. No structural damages. No problems with docks. And docks are not underwater. Tiki Bar and Grill looking good. And let's see if we can pull in to this. This parking lot is very muddy right now. Okay, here's a good picture for you. On the left here, straight ahead, is the dock at Tiki. As you can tell, it's not underwater. Looks like there was some people that left their boats on the dock, which, that's crazy. And in front of us is the river, and it is moving. Look at the current on this river. Try to zoom in a little bit here. That current is moving. And of course, everybody knows about this sailboat that's been here a couple of years. There's the famous sailboat that everybody takes their selfies with when they're visiting Sebastian. I don't know what they're ever going to do with that sailboat, but it's becoming a landmark off of Indian River Drive. And then I tell you what, the sailboat is flooded with water right now, and it's almost underwater. So the tide is high. This is the storm surge that everyone's been talking about. Heading south, Indian River Drive. The good news is no damage to homes that we've seen off of Indian River Drive. But like I said, within an hour from now, the strongest winds pick up, and this storm will be gone tomorrow. That's the good news. We've seen worse than this. We see a few trees down. That's really it. We're looking at the homes, and there's no flooding across the river into homes. Someone called us earlier today, and we got a few emails from our snowbirds that visit us who have property down here, and they were wondering if the street was flooded, if Indian River Drive was flooded, because they have homes across the street, and we're not seeing any flooding on the roadway from the river. The water line is high though. But I tell you what, I gotta be honest with you, I really thought that right by now this roadway would be flooded. Of course, the park has some extra water by the volleyball court, but we've always seen that flood out with storms. We're just now passing Riverview Park on Indian River Drive. We're going to go all the way down Indian River Drive. This road, this part of the road is where a lot of people were hoping that there wasn't a lot of damage, and there's not. All these buildings and structures, that everything's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to US 1 from Indian River Drive, and we're just going to go down US 1 for a little bit through Sebastian and see what else is going on. But again, Indian River Drive looking good, no flooding. The river has not flooded the road. Winds have picked up, and within an hour from now the winds will really pick up. But things are getting back to normal already. The Sebastian River Medical Center has reopened, fully operational. A lot of businesses, including Woody's Barbecue, Sandy's Grill, are all going to be open tomorrow. And I'm positive Earl's Hideaway will be open. I think we've spent a week biting our nails, worried about this huge hurricane that devastated the Bahamas. Watching those videos and knowing that that storm was so close to us really had us worried. So glad that we have tropical storm winds, and the storm is moving away from us. The eye, actually, as of 7:45 p.m. is pretty much directly out from us right now. But the eye, of course, being way out offshore, what we got to worry about now are these strong bands that are coming in from the storm. These bands are spinning tornadoes from time to time. Not necessarily on land, but offshore. And the forecasters are keeping an eye on that, because if this is still as much dangerous. Rain is starting to pick up. Winds are starting to pick up again. I think we're in the middle of a band right now, actually, that just came on shore. All right, we're passing Ham and Egg, one of my favorite places to eat breakfast. Country Ham and Egg, and they're looking good from what I can tell from US 1. Italian Cousin, and they're looking good. We haven't seen any. The No Name bar is open, and they're packed. I've never seen a No Name bar that packed. It's open. There's a presence of law enforcement everywhere. They're just not. They're sitting at gas stations. I think they're just out here helping to keep people safe. Coming up, the Mash Monkeys. They're looking good. No problem there. We're gonna make this through. Sebastian will be fine. I'm hoping to meet up with Florida Man Joe. Try to get an interview with him on his next event with his mattress. Joe and his mattress, air mattress on the river. Joe's probably sitting at home wishing that he could bring that air mattress out, but it's too windy. Imagine the sailboat that could be right now. Hey, the Pelican Pub is open, and they're looking good. So really, everything looks good in Sebastian. Just to give you a quick update, we're not seeing any damage, just extra waters on the roadway, tree limbs, branches, that sort of thing down. And like I said, within an hour from now, the real winds come in, but I don't think it's going to be anything big. I think. Oh, and by the way, there were some people that didn't have power. There's 17,000 FPL workers out there restoring power, and people are noticing that. Power goes out, it's coming right back within the hour or a couple of hours. So, got to give Florida Power and Light credit for that, for their hard work. We also want to thank the Sebastian Police Department for keeping our roads safe. And we also want to give a shout out to Frank Nolan for giving the Sebastian Police Department some food. He is the manager at McDonald's, and he gave our officers free meals the other day. As well as the deputies. Frank fed the deputies that work up here in the North County in Sebastian. So our next update is going to be tomorrow morning. We are going to stay inside tonight as the stronger winds. Oh, the Los Palmos is open. I didn't realize they were going to be open, and they look packed. So even our local Cuban cuisine is open, which is great. So our next update will be tomorrow morning. We're going to stay inside tonight because we're expecting higher gusts. But if you are up north and you're worried about your property in Barefoot Bay or on Indian River Drive, don't worry. Everything looks good so far, and I don't believe that we're going to see any damage to homes unless there's a tornado or something. But I really don't. I think we're going to be fine here in Sebastian. We try not to hype these storms up. We know that people have common sense to get prepared. They live in a hurricane-prone area, and we don't feel the need to hype these storms up bigger than they are. And that's been our reporting all along. So, hey, until tomorrow morning, get some sleep tonight. I really believe that things will be back to normal tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Andy Hodges with Sebastian Daily.